Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. I'm J.W. Stewart, former anchor at ESPN and NBC Sports, and now a sport management professor here at the university.
And I am Bruce Barber, the former co-host of Smith & Barber, the morning show on WPLR, now the general manager of 88.7 WNHU.
Bruce, we look a little different today, and there's a good reason for that.
Wow, I feel so happy to be owning another free vest.
Well, this is what we've said this for a long time, right? If you give us swag, you're ended up on the show one way or the other. So we appreciate our next guest for bringing these fleece vests to us. He is Brian Kench. He's the dean for our Pompea College of Business here at the University of New Haven. Brian, it's great to see you. Welcome to Charger 360.
Thank you for having me.
J-Dub, I have heard, though, beware a dean bearing gifts.
Really? Should we be concerned? Because he also brought the water bottles, too.
Wow, lots of gifts.
So take note. Again, if you want to be on the show, this is how you do it.
That's right.
So Brian, we've had all the other deans on from the 5 colleges here at the University of New Haven. We're finally glad to have you on. We know you're a busy guy. Tell us about your path, where you're from, and how you got here to the University of New Haven.
Happy to do so. Just at the jump here, I'd like to say we're very proud to have both J-Dub and Bruce on the faculty here. Our students and their parents value the rich experiences that you bring into the classroom. So thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot, Brian.
Yeah, it does.
So my journey. So I was raised in Lynn, Massachusetts. Then went over to Framingham State University in Massachusetts. Studied economics, really fell in love with economics, and then decided to get my graduate degree, a PhD in economics at the University of Connecticut, UConn. And in my first year, after I completed that first year at UConn, I decided to make a little money in the summer because I hadn't been working all year. And I decided to do a little commercial fishing. It was crabbing, actually, and my cousin was the captain of that boat. But we went out for 10 days to Georges Bank up in the North Atlantic.
Wow.
And here are
we have some photos here on the video wall.
A few photos.
Wow, look at that.
That's me 30 years ago.
You haven't changed a bit, Brian.
This is like deadliest catch stuff.
Totally, 72-foot boat.
Wow.
This is the backside of me up there. This is at the end where 10 feet up in the air in the North Atlantic, rolling seas. I'm sort of stacking crates. This is the most difficult job I've ever had in my life. And so that's why I'm sharing it with you and the folks here today. Whenever I think of hard work or difficult jobs, this is my reference point. I came back from that trip. I had muscles in places I didn't know that you could have muscles. It was really a powerful trip for me personally. And it reinvigorated me to ensure that I do complete that PhD and go on and do this other stuff. So I just paused there for that because it's been an important story in my life. Yeah. Finished, I went off from there to the University of New Hampshire, that other school with the similar letters, and then to the University of Tampa. And it's at the University of Tampa that I spent my years going through the ranks of assistant professor, associate professor, full professor. But I had the great fortune of being elected to the department chair in my 4th year as a young, untenured faculty member. And we were able to transform that program from something quite small, 14 or 15 majors, up to 150 when I left in 2015, 60, 70 students that were minoring in economics. Where we changed the curriculum and focused on experiential opportunities. So kids were being placed in Washington, D.C., and lots of places that we had visited, as well as in Tampa. So it was an amazing transformation that we were able to do there at the University of Tampa. And then a gentleman named Ted Lewis, and some that are listening today will know the Ted Lewis name. He was the recruiter for the University of New Haven and brought a lot of folks in here, gave me a call. Somebody had recommended me to him and said, would you be interested in the job up here at the University of Tampa? I said I would. I was not in the market to be a dean. I shared with him what I would likely do as a dean up there. And bing, bang, boom, 11 years later, Bruce, J.W., here I am.
Wow. And we are lucky to have you. So you come here to the University of New Haven as the dean. There's some gravitas to that.
Yeah.
So what does the dean of the Pompea School of Business do on the average day?
Well, my son asked me that same question about 2 weeks ago. He's like, what do you do? And so I put it in a couple of buckets. The first bucket, really for any dean, but certainly the dean of the Pompea College of Business, is enrollment growth and ensuring strong student outcomes. So I've got another photo, I believe, that will come up here. Mm-hmm. And this is our undergraduate group that came in this year, fall of 2025.
Wow.
There's 241 students that have come in. That's our largest incoming undergraduate class in the history of the University of New Haven for the Pompea College
Congrats.
of Business. Notice that JW is sitting right up there front and center.
Oh, look at that.
With Jan Jones. This is actually a barbecue for our incoming class, which is the launchpad for future business leaders, where students are learning about career readiness and networking and leadership, and JW and Jan are leading that course. So I think we're doing pretty well on an enrollment growth and the student outcomes perspective. We typically look at a measure 6 months out post-graduation, and for the last 3 years, our average is 97% of our students have a job or gone into employment. So I think that's a powerful signal of that first
That's what
category.
Those prospective parents like to hear. You know,
Yeah.
music to my ears.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? You're going to college, you're going to university. The whole point is you're going to get education, first of all, and get a job, and we certainly can back that up.
That's right.
You know, across all majors within our College of Business.
That's right, yeah. And I think if we have time for a few more buckets, right, programming, so revising programs and creating new programs. So in the Pompea College of Business, when we started in 2015-16, we very quickly were moving towards creating STEM-based business programs, and that's something that really didn't exist. We started with our MBA program, which is a STEM-based MBA program, so we were one of the first colleges in the country. We were fifth, in fact, to launch our STEM MBA program. We now have 12 unique STEM-designated programs. Over 50% of all the students in the Pompea College of Business are in one of the STEM programs. So it's a sort of an exemplar of how a group of faculty can get together and move the college in a direction, and then you see the demand come in for that program that you've created. And maybe the third, and then we can move on, is faculty. Every dean's going to be up here talking about how great their faculty is. That's how I started this episode. But in 11 years, I've had the opportunity to hire 70% of the full-time faculty, and if you include the adjuncts and part-time faculty, it's a much higher statistic. So everyone that comes into the Pompea College of Business has been hired to meet the mission, focusing in on our students and ensuring strong outcomes.
There is a tremendous amount of competition for students, for University of New Haven, for all schools out there. You've mentioned some of the things, some of these buckets that make the Pompea College of Business so unique. In your mind, what else makes attending the Pompea College of Business a unique experience?
Well, I've got a really long list, but I'm going to just give you a few. I think maybe the first one to talk about is our Fast Track program. And so that's a program where in 4 years, with 4 years of undergraduate tuition, you'll complete 2 degrees. So your undergraduate will be reduced down into 3 years, so you'll take extra credits to achieve that. And then in your 4th year, you complete your MBA. It's perhaps the most remarkable example of return on investment that's provided here at the University of New Haven, because it's the $45,000 that you do not have to pay for an MBA that you get by joining this Fast Track program. So that photo that we had up there earlier, 25% of the kids join the Fast Track program. So that's a program we didn't have when we started in 2015. So that's a pretty powerful program.
Yeah,
so,
and it's often a 4. Is it a 4+1 for an MBA?
4-1 for most of the other programs around the university.
And you're doing it all in 4 years.
This is 3-1.
Wow.
Yeah, and that brings that added value. So actually recruits a student that has been accepted at a lot of institutions around the country, but they're coming here because they are value and price conscious. Right. And to have both of those is a pretty powerful package.
So Vincent, who was here on a recent episode, right, got his undergraduate degree in 3 years in sport management, and now is doing his MBA year now. So 3+1, dual degree, Fast Track. Yeah.
And you've got the shirts with Pompea, but we have our Pompea diplomats that are out there. And so we actually lead in our open houses with our students, these Pompea diplomats, and they tell their stories. So I thought I'd share a couple of the common themes that they talk about, which we think are then exemplars of what makes us different. And the first is around an Introduction to Business and Entrepreneurship course we call BUSA 1000. And the key component of that course is that the students in their first year, a required course, will learn to write a business plan. By the end of the semester, students in that course, and there typically are 8 or 9 sections of it, will compete in a Pompea Business Plan Expo at the end of the semester. And the winner of the pitch competition gets their names engraved on a Pompea Business Plan cup. Think Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And your name is forever engraved on that cup. They also get $500 each for winning that competition. So a lot of students appreciate that. I think a lot of parents appreciate that by the time they complete their first semester. I don't know what you were doing after your 3 months, 4 months into college.
This is a loaded question, Brian.
Pleading with the dean to stay in,
Yeah. So
explaining my behavior.
So it's pretty powerful, right? Yeah. And then internships, right? So the faculty have actually recently voted that all the students that start in the fall of 26 will be required to do an internship. So we have a lot of internships now, over 300 in the last year. But it's pretty powerful, and the faculty believe, based on the data, that at the point of graduation, if you have completed an internship that has been paid, the number of job offers that you have, on average, is twice as many as those that have not done an internship. And an internship is really just practicing to get a job. So you go through that whole process while you're here, so that when you are going to graduate and go out, you will have that experience in front of you. So those are a couple. I'm going to pick on one more because JW is here, is the sport management program, which is globally ranked in 2024, number 9 in the world. Best sport management program out of about 250.
Wow.
And this year, number 6 for its industry network. Yeah. So if you think of any sport organization in the United States, odds are there's a University of New Haven sport management student in there.
I have to tell you, I've been so impressed with the sport management students that end up doing shows and participating in the radio station.
Great.
So, good on you. Yeah. That is
You got
great.
time for one more?
Yes.
I do.
I don't want to cut you
Please,
off.
for
God,
you.
this is
You bring us the vests.
this is the Brian Kench show. I've handed the keys over to the Ferrari, and you can just drive it, buddy.
Our Gaia Initiative. So this is our student investment fund. It didn't exist 4 years ago. They now have $800,000 of money under management. It's all through philanthropy and their amazing stewardship of those funds. Every student that has graduated that has been part of that Gaia fund has been employed. So 100% employment rate in the finance industry for students that have come out of there. So that's a list of 4. I'll stop there, but I think there are a lot of important differences between this College of Business relative to others.
Amazing.
Well, there's a lot of amazing things, like you said, a lot of cool things, but there is one really big project that is in the works with our College of Business. Will you please tell everybody what is happening very, very soon with regard to a new building on campus?
Sure. We're building a 4-story, 50,000 square foot, $45 million, privately funded new College of Business building. So
Wow.
The first image was of the site location, so it'll be on Rudin Street and Campbell. And this is the front of view of that building, so 4 stories. There'll be a cafe down on the ground floor. It's a 250-seat classroom that is designed for both classroom utilization, entrepreneurial pitch competitions, and of course all of our recruiting events that will be there. There's analytics and trading room on the first floor. This will be coming from South Campus Hall into the front of the building. Right on the right, as soon as you enter that first, which is the second floor, because we're on a hill, is a student's one-stop shop. So any need that an undergraduate or graduate student has, whether it be advising or needing to get an internship, you're going to go right to that spot at the front door. Tours will go by there, signaling how important it is that we believe in the student outcomes, and this is part of that. There'll be a boardroom up on the 4th floor for students to do their presentations with industry. So the faculty have thought through all the things that are needed to make a world-class College of Business. And this will be it. It'll be the front door of the university when you come off 95, up First Avenue, the way that we refer to this as a beacon. You will know that you have arrived at the University of New Haven when you see this building.
That is so cool. Wow.
So what's the timeline? Give us an idea of when things, if all goes well, shovel in the ground to the ribbon cutting.
So as I said, it's a $45 million privately funded campaign to build this building. We are a long way there. We're not there yet. So if you've got your checks, we could use some of that to get us there. But we hope to have a shovel in the ground in June, and if we have a shovel in the ground in June, we hope to open in December of 2027.
Great.
Wow, the radio station is right up the street on Rudin. I think, the neighborhood is definitely ascending.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's just so wonderful.
Thank you.
So before we came on the air, Brian said, because normally our shows are about 15 minutes, Brian said this one's going to be about 18, and he's pretty much right on. So to wrap up, the last question we have for Brian is, you're so busy, just like everyone else here is at the University of New Haven. When you do have spare time, what do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
So I love to travel and spend time with my family. So this is actually a shot on the, well, you can guess, right? It's the Great Wall.
Yep. Good branding there with the fleece there too.
I try to wear it everywhere I go.
He's got the long sleeve.
Yeah. And we have a partnership with Beijing Wuxi University in Beijing, have for 3 years, and actually about 20 students are going to come over and transfer to the University of New Haven next fall in the BS Business Analytics program. So I do a lot of traveling. This one was with Greg Eichhorn was there and some of our partners. And then I think the next photo is with my son, Henry, a few years ago, fishing off of Cape Cod, so no longer going after the crab.
So all the lobstering and crabbing, that did not deter you from getting on a boat and going out fishing?
And not to do it for money. I pay to go out, the boat and the rest, and so. But this was a great day.
Big old stripers, right?
2 stripers right at the beginning. We were both, double hooked here, and this was the result. So it was a fun time. And I think one more. So this is my wife, Liz, my daughter, Lily, and Murray down there. And this is the turkey trot over there in Madison, Connecticut a couple of years ago. So I do love to run. And when we're not running, we're doing these 5-mile loops around Madison with Liz and Murray. So those are just a few of the things that
terrific.
Occupy my time. This is a great opportunity to just think, right, to be running.
Clear your mind. Around. Yeah, absolutely. This has been terrific. Brian, thank you very much for the time.
You're welcome.
We know you're running here and there, so we appreciate you spending some time with us here on Charger 360. We look forward to seeing you with the hard hat and the shovel in the ground before you know
You'll be there. You'll be there too.
We'll all be there, right? You're a neighbor at the radio station.
Yeah.
Come on down, put a
Howdy,
shovel in the ground.
I'll be there knocking on the door.
Don't be we know you won't be an annoying neighbor.
No, no promises. Him again?
Well, that'll wrap up this edition of Charger 360. If you'd like to be on the show, all you got to do is email Bruce or myself, bbarber@newhaven.edu, jstewart@newhaven.edu. It helps if you bring swag like the water bottles and the fleeces. That'll get you on the show, definitely. If you'd like to see any of our previous shows, that's easy as well. Just go to newhaven.edu/Charger360. So for Brian Kench and for Bruce Barber, I'm J.W. Stewart. Thanks for watching Charger 360, telling the stories of the University of New Haven. We'll see you next time, everybody.